Good afternoon, you join Red Report outside a nice sunny Oakwell, blue sky against Luton. Kick-off's in about 20 minutes. We're joined by a mix of people. I think there's 3 different families here. So in terms of score prediction for today, sir?
That's a 1-0.
1-0 Barnsley.
Yeah.
Who's going to score it?
Anybody really?
We're not bothered, are we?
No, not bothered.
2-1 and who's going to score the 2? Correct, good answer. That's 2-1 as well. So what's important today for Barnsley then? In terms of, it was a poor performance.
A good performance.
And who do you think is pivotal today in giving us that performance?
What would you say?
So everybody's.
It's a team game. They've got the team play. They want people to stick together.
So we're saying that everybody's got to stick together. We need more shots.
Yeah.
Sounds brilliant to me. Thank you very much for joining us. All right. You have a nice afternoon. See you later, boss. Ta-ra, mate. We're joined by the Davies family. Sir, what's your name?
Paul.
Paul. Score prediction for today?
3-0 to the Reds.
3-0. Quite ambitious score. Do you think he's going to score first?
Wilkes.
Wilkes, are you expecting a good performance? Do you think Wilkes is going to be pivotal, or have you highlighted anybody else who could be pivotal?
All of them today. We're going to turn it on today.
I hope so. Young man, what's your name?
Jacob.
Nice to meet you, Jacob. Scoreline today?
1-1.
First goal scorer for Barnsley?
You have to pick one. McGeehan.
Sounds good to me. Sir, what's your name?
Trevor.
Nice to join us, Trevor, today. Score prediction?
2-0.
2-0.
Tiam both goals.
Tiam both goals. In terms of the performance today, you two, who are you looking to be a key player for Barnsley?
Barry.
I
think Wilkes been up there by himself as well.
We're joined by Robert here today. Robert, what's your expectations for today?
I reckon 2-1 Barnsley.
2-1 Barnsley, so you think we've got enough to beat Luton?
I reckon so.
Yeah, it's going to be very tight when obviously both teams promoted back end of last season. It's going to be close. Who's going to be pivotal for Barnsley today?
Hard to tell.
Hard to tell. Everybody?
Yeah.
So you're saying 2-1, then who's going to score for Barnsley today?
I don't know whose team at present, I don't know.
Wilkes is playing. Do you think Wilkes is capable of sorting it out today?
Probably. Yeah.
Mamadou's in the side. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is the goals could come from anywhere, but we're going to win.
Yeah.
You're up for me, Robert. We are joined by Tony Perry outside Oakwell on a nice sunny blue sky here in Barnsley. Perfect day, is it not, Tony?
Too perfect.
Is it
the players?
Yeah, you think that's going to play a factor in today's game?
Definitely.
Do you think we might tie towards the end, or do you think we'll have enough?
I think both teams.
Okay, and will that suit us?
I'm hoping that we'll be fitter than them. I hope so. It's certainly a young fit side.
Okay, so in terms of the scoreline today, Tony?
I think it's going to be 2-1 to us.
2-1 to Barnsley, and who's going to score the goals for Barnsley?
I don't know who's playing. If Woodrow's playing.
Woodrow's not playing. Mamadou, Tiam and Wilkes look like they're going to be between them two up front.
What about Mr. Smith? Is he in?
No, he's not. I think he's on bench.
Right, well.
Moat and McGeehan are both in.
Yeah, I think it could be Thomas. And it could be Chaplin.
Brilliant, that sounds good. Chaplin to come off bench and win it later on then, is that what you're saying? Brilliant, well, it'll be good against tired legs, won't it? So, yep, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. Good afternoon, you're joined by Red Report Chris outside. We're with Red all over us, Alan. Nice to see you, Alan. Are you alright?
Oh, very well.
Looking forward to it, Chris. And rightfully so. Lovely sunny afternoon. What are you expecting today?
Well, I'm expecting after Birmingham to come out all guns blazing and on front foot and hopefully get that early goal and settle us down and let's go for it.
What do you think the score's going to be today, Alan?
Well, at least we've got to have one shot on goal, haven't we? We only had one at Birmingham in 89 minutes, so 1-0 I've gone for.
1-0, and who's going to get that goal?
Good question, which side? Oh, you put me on the spot there.
Well, we like to do that.
Oh, we've got to go for Tiam. He had a bad game, he's got to come good, hasn't he?
Sounds good to me. Who do you think is going to be pivotal today in terms of getting them 3 points?
Midfield and passing, it's got to be more McGeehan, have got to be bossing it.
Brilliant.
We've not bossed it past 4 games.
Brilliant. So 3 points for Barnsley. First goal, Tiam. What minute?
Oh, we've got to go back 25th. We've got to.
25th. I'll buy you a pint if you're through.
Alright,
thanks for joining us, Al.
No
See you
problem.
later,
See you,
boss.
lads.
We're joined by Jodie. Jodie. Hi. Jodie, expectations today, what do you think?
I think this is one of the games that we've got to win.
Yes.
I think we can win it, and I think it'll be a hard fought out 1-0 win.
1-0. Obviously, there's usually a lot of goals between Barnsley and Luton, but you're expecting a tight ship
It's
today.
a hot day.
Okay.
Players might start to flag towards the end. I think there's a lot at stake as well. You know, they've not had the best of starts, so I think we're both out for points today. So yeah, 1-0.
Okay.
Hard fought out.
Who's going to score the goal?
late season lineup,
Not
so I
in
don't
team,
know.
so there's no Woodrow.
Right.
Wilkes returns.
Right.
He might play up wing, or Tiam might play up
Right,
wing, and
I
the other
think-
one will probably play up front.
I think I'm going to put my money on Wilkes actually. I think he's got a bit of a point to prove from getting dropped midweek.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm going with Wilkes.
Nice one. So in terms of pivotal play, you've got Wilkes to score. Who do you think is going to be vital today in Barnsley's victory?
I think Diaby at back.
Diaby.
Yeah, I think they're going to put pressure on us because, like I said, they've got to go for that win as well. But I think Diaby's going to be.
Have you been impressed with Diaby?
Yeah, I have, to be fair.
Solid, isn't it?
Yeah. We're a shame losing Pinnock back, but I think we've got a solid replacement in him.
Sounds good to me, Jody. So fingers crossed, 3 points for the Reds,
Yeah, definitely.
1-0, Wilkes to score.
Yeah,
Sounds good to me. There we go. Thanks for joining on Reds Report. Have a nice afternoon, Jody.
What sort of match are you expecting today?
I'm expecting a very offensive game. I think it's going to be very end-to-end. Lots of goals, lots of chances. Something very Barnsley-esque, I would suggest. Something like the Fulham game, where you're not quite sure which way it's going to turn, but fingers crossed it'll turn Barnsley's way, yeah.
It's we spoke to Andy Goodwin on the show on Thursday. He's a statistician that does all the stats for Barnsley FC. On average, almost 4 goals every time we play Luton, and I think the 3-2 sort of is evidence of that last year when we the first match on Sky in League One. Who are the key man for Barnsley today?
Key man, I believe Malik Wilkes is probably going to have a bee in his bonnet about not starting on Tuesday. So I think Malik Wilkes is going to have a massive impact on today's game, given he starts. Whether he's in Daniel's plans to begin the game, I'm not so sure. However, he has got the ability to make an impact if he does come off the bench. It'd be interesting to see how we start up front. Obviously, Corey Woodrow, there's doubts. But yeah, I think the wingers, so probably Wilkes or Thomas, are probably going to be the danger men for Barnsley today, and I would expect one of those two to score today.
We have to mention it, a lot of social media reaction that, especially in away matches, we seem to have the majority of possession, and if I'm right, I think it was something like almost 65% away at Wednesday, 64.7% away at Birmingham, but we seem to be lacking that killer touch, that killer service into the danger area. Is it then somewhat ironic that the man that made that happen last year, George Moncur, could well be facing us again today?
Yeah, I guess so. George Moncur was it a miss though, wasn't he, Carlo? You'd either got a player that was playing for Brazil or a player that you got playing for Barney, do you know what I mean? He saw it and missed. So to me, he never really were a Barnsley player in my eyes. I think we've got much better players that suit our system now. In terms of having that 60% possession and not changing that into goals, that's something we're going to have to come across numerous times. Last season we outpowered teams and we outplayed teams with one style of football. I think we're going to have to adapt and overcome this season. I think a lot of teams have seen how we played and they're willing to let us have the ball, and we've got to come up with a plan B for that. It's going to be interesting to watch.
An interesting stat, Andy Goodway came up. Last year in League One, we got on average 5.6 chances at goal. So far in the Championship, it's been 2.3. Most chances coming in the Charlton match last week. Is it a coincidence that if we play with 2 out-and-out strikers with Chaplin and Woodrow up front, that created most chances we've had so far this season? Or are you a firm believer that actually, a 4-4-1-1 could still work for us as well?
Yeah, I have no doubt that the Chaplin-Woodrow partnership would produce numerous amounts of chances. Maybe Charlton set up for us to play with 5 in midfield with Barra behind Woodrow, and maybe we caught them out cold with that. And that's something I mentioned earlier about the adapting and overcoming depending on what teams we might play. But yeah, chances are going to be much harder to come by regardless of the formation we play, because ultimately we're playing against better players.
Which of the Barnsley players so far, the new Barnsley players that we've brought in, have stood out for you?
I think Luke Thomas is impeccable at the minute. I think his game suits Daniel Stendel's style of play in terms of the pressing. He's got legs for days, hasn't he? He's probably still running now, isn't he, from last Saturday? He's unbelievable. He's closing down game. His build-up play, and he's always involved, isn't he, when we score? So yeah, I think Luke Thomas has been a great acquisition this season. Yeah.
Barnsley are the one team that's had the longest stint, or has been in the second tier of English football for longer than any other team. Now, statistics tell us that after 4 matches, we have an average of 4.3 points. After 4 matches, as it stands today, we're on 4. So we're roughly where we should be. How hard is it when we lose a match? Obviously, the Wednesday, the Birmingham away, and the results weren't good for Barnsley. There's no pasting around that. actually we're on track to do as we always do and retain that sort of status in the Championship. How hard is it for you when you go on our Reds Report Twitter to sort of fight back? Because there is a meltdown. When we lose, there is a meltdown. People care. This is their club. This is, on a Saturday, probably like me and you. We work Monday to Friday. We work hard. We want to go here. We want to go away. We want to see the team doing well. And then when they lose, there's a little bit of a meltdown. Are you worried at all?
Not one bit, and nor should anybody else be. I mean, Paul Conway's just stood in front of us, and he just stated it's a long-term vision, isn't it? No club gets there overnight, and the ones that haven't got overnight have not sustained it and ended up in League One, haven't they? So we're not mentioning them, but it happens that you can go from Champions League to League One. If it's not done correctly, it has to be done correctly. And Paul Conway's got that vision. I have no doubt Daniel's got that vision, and we've got to stick with these players. They're young, they're hungry. But if anything, they're inexperienced, and we've got to support them all we can. At the end of the day, we're here to support Barnsley, and that's what we need to be doing.
I'm not ignoring it, I'm just checking that the lineup is now here, but there's 12 minutes to go. News this week, George Miller has joined Scunthorpe on loan. How surprising is that to you? We've got Adebayo out on loan for the season, out-and-out striker. George Miller, who joined us from Middlesbrough, where he was on loan at Bradford last season. He's gone on loan for the season to Scunthorpe. Does it make you twitch a little bit, wondering about our out-and-out strikers? Do you think that within the squad that we've got, there's plenty there to cover that position?
Well, we can only assume that Daniel believes there's enough to cover that position, otherwise he wouldn't have gone out on loan, and I would suggest it's probably really good for George Miller to be getting that minute and that development for himself. There's no point in him being here if he's on the bench and he's an unused sub, and he's probably going to be a vital asset in future years, fingers crossed.
We talked about Luton Town, we've talked about our unbeaten record. So Luton had an unbeaten record at home last season, that's now gone. How important is it when we face, whoever we face, it's Luton today, it's Leeds next. For the players, how important do you think it is to maintain that unbeaten record at home for us to ultimately survive in the season?
I could only assume psychologically it's a massive thing to have that unbeaten record at Oakwell. You're walking into this ground and it needs to become a fortress, and I think that's vital in terms of the confidence throughout the squad. Having such a young side, that confidence can't be too dented, and having that at Oakwell, it's pivotal to us staying in the Championship, absolutely. I hope we can keep it going again today with 3 points.
I know you are a big fan of Mike Stephen Bowder, who's been named club captain, and I think at least in 2 matches he's been taken off. More than likely that's to make a tactical substitution. Is he the key man for Barnsley as captain, knowing how Stendhal wants to play and sort of being that influence on the pitch? And how hard is it then when you're taken off after 60-70 minutes?
Yeah, I think the 60-70 minutes substitution with Michael Stephen, I don't think we should look into that too much. He plays such a position where he's run himself into the floor to close down in that position like he does. There's no way that anybody could get beyond 60 or 70 minutes. In terms of his importance, the way that we play, I think everybody is important as each other. This team, if somebody's not doing the job, they're going to be let down, as we've seen in previous games. You look at the Fulham game, you tell me what best player on pitch against Fulham, because I couldn't pick one. Everybody is vitally important, equally as important as the other one.
I suppose life as a Barnsley fan is a bit like a roller coaster, isn't it? Because let's be perfectly honest, we were stood here before the Fulham match. Fulham very much title favourites for this season. We beat them at Oakwell, and walking home I heard people saying 3 years we'll be Champions League, we'll play Premier League football next season. We go away on Wednesday and we lose, then we play Charlton and we draw, we go away at Birmingham and we lose again. Realistically, Paul Conway stood there where you're stood now and says it's all about survival. It's, fifth from bottom would suit us, but looking at the quality of the squad, the pedigree of the squad, realistically what do you think we should be aiming at?
What, immediately or in the future? Immediately, it's survival, isn't it? But how far can this team go? If we'd have kept the side together last season, how far could they have gone? The issue we had was with contract. We've eradicated that this season. Everybody's been tied down to 3-4 year deals. So what can we build with this team? The potential is untapped. I think the side that we've got, in 2-3 years' time, we keep it together, we're more than capable of challenging for playoffs. More than capable.
Really interesting. We spoke to Conor Horan after the Birmingham match. He did the commentary on iFollow, and Conor's sentiments are still that he was at the club at a time where the CEO obviously left. It was an awkward and lots of players left. His words on Wednesday night to me were, if we would have kept some of the players that left for other clubs I reckon we could have been playing in the Premier League this season. The board's obviously learned from that. Every player that's come in is on at least a 3 or a 4 year contract. How important is that in your first season back into the Championship to sign 10 players all on at least 3 or 4 year contracts?
It's vital important, yeah. It can't, you know, we're not going to lose people for a shoestring anymore, are we? People are going to have to pay the value that they're meant to be paying for that player. In terms of Connery, I know he's a great player for us and probably at wrong time, really. We probably need him now more than ever. But yeah, I think this team, with the 3 and 4 year deals, they're more than capable of growing, and at least we're growing for themselves, like Paul said. We're going to grow and we're going to reap the benefit of that down the line.
Right, before we put some music on, as we're waiting for the team news to come on, which we'll announce, as well as a non-playing player that will be joining us very shortly, but they're not here yet. Go on, we need a score for, not just a, I don't want Barnsley to win, I want a score, and I want you to tell me who's going to score.
I think you can probably guess it.
I don't want 90th minute Mads Andersen, because you've said that every week and it's not happened as yet.
89th minute, Mads Andersen.
What's the score going to be?
1-0.
Right, between Barnsley and Luton, historically,
yes,
at least 4 goals.
Okay, 4-3, 89th minute, Mads Andersen.
Right, we'll play some music. We're waiting for the non-playing player, which I believe to be Callum Styles, to be joining us on stage in a few minutes. So in the meantime, we'll play some music as we wait for the team news to come in. Thank you.
Right, ladies and gents, as ever in the fan zone round about this time, we do get one of the non-playing players up. I'm delighted to say that we've been joined today. Would you put your hands together for Callum Styles? We're going to have a little chat with Callum. I'll hand you over to Carlo and Chris from the Reds Report, and take it away, guys.
Thanks very much. Callum, first of all, I suppose we cannot start an interview just to give you your thoughts, because, I mean, we had one of the co-owners earlier on talking about balancing the books and everything else. Obviously, with what's happening with your ex-club, does it make it hard? Obviously, you've got your move to our club. You were loaned back for the first half of last season, and then you came to join us. You don't have to make any extraordinary statements, but that must be hard, doesn't it, to have colleagues playing for a club that is such, you know, where the future is just so uncertain.
Yeah, I mean, they was dead good to me. They gave me my opportunity. It's just a dead good club, and it's just a shame what I'm seeing. But hopefully they pull through.
Yeah, definitely. So you get your move to Barnsley. You're loaned back for the first half of the season. You go back. How has that been? Because it was obviously a bit of a step up. What's Daniel Stendel been like with you, sort of feeding you into that first team?
He's been that good with me. He's wanted me to attack more. Always talking to me every week, trying to develop me.
Very good. I remember your first appearance, and somebody sitting next to me with quite a bit of experience saying, that's a young Darren Sheridan, that is. Have a look at YouTube, that's a real compliment. Chris, I'll hand over to you before we do the quick fire questions.
Yeah, so you spent first half on loan back at Bury last season, and then you joined the juggernaut, which was Barnsley FC, heading towards the Championship. How much did you enjoy that journey and being part of that group of players, a team that's winning and on the up?
Yeah, it was amazing to get promotion. The team was very good. Going from Bury, winning, and then coming here, winning most games, it was dead good. And promotion just finally it off.
How easy did you find that, joining Barnsley halfway through the season? Did you take to it well? Were the lads very good with you? Did you find it easy to mix in, settle?
Yeah, I mixed in dead good. Settled in within a week or two. Because when I was on loan at Bury, I coming in like once or twice a week, getting to know the lads, getting to know the style of play.
That's brilliant, yeah.
I said to Paul Conway earlier, there's something about Barnsley fans. I can't put my finger on it. Obviously, you know, we're two of them, and there's plenty more here. There's something about Barnsley fans that just want to see honest players working hard on the pitch. You seem to fit that profile. Coming from the club where you came from and now finding yourself and fighting for the place, how much are you enjoying life in the Championship? Because obviously, like today, obviously, you know, you're not included. How much are you enjoying it though?
Yeah, football's like the dream job, so every day is just a blessing. Being in the Championship's dead good, better quality, better teams, and it's just a fight for your place at the end of the day.
Absolutely fantastic to hear a young player say that playing football is a blessing. We had Alex Mowat on the stage last week. We had Paul Conway here earlier. We've got a set of questions that we have to ask you just to get to know you a little bit and your thoughts on your teammates. So first of all, here we go again. Bear Grylls invites you to the jungle for a week. It's pure survival, this. You have to like kill rats and do all sorts of stuff. Which teammate would you take in the jungle, or which one would you absolutely not take? And I'll give you a hint. Mowat was stood there last week saying, I ain't taking Coley Woodrow because he's scared of everything. Who would you take in the jungle to help you out, or is there anybody you wouldn't take into the jungle with you? You can drop them in him because over the season, average just says we'll have most of the players here. So, and we're not keeping count, except the Excel spreadsheet we've got in the office.
I'd probably say I'd take Bambo.
You don't argue with Bambo. And I'm sure the animals in the jungle know that as well. Right, we'll fast forward a couple of weeks. We play Leeds here on a Sunday. We've won, as we always do against Leeds at home. And Daniel Stendel sent a group WhatsApp message out and says, lads, absolutely fantastic. Party at mine tonight, it's fancy dress. We know Paul Conway is going to go dressed as Daniel Stendel. We know Alex Mowat is going as Shrek, his answer, not ours. What are you going as? Fancy dress. Any idols, any football idols that you might want to go as? Any superheroes that you might think, oh yeah, I'll have a bit of that?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. I like it. I like it. Amazon, 19.99, great bargain.
Yes, so Callum, you've lived in some absolutely beautiful places like Bury. I just want to know what makes Barnsley so perfect and beautiful. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
Why is it so nice? What do you like about Barnsley? Make something up if you can't think of anything.
You're going to have to help me.
Yes. Well, Alex Mowat decided that it was the accent. He really likes the accent. So do you like the accent?
Yeah, it's the best.
Do you think you can say "you Reds" in a Barnsley accent?
Do it! Go on! Do it!
Yes! Thank you very much. That's very good. So when you first arrived at Barnsley, I'm understood that the players are meant to sing in front of the other players as part of their initiation period. What song did you sing?
You might not know him, but H.
H? Does anybody know H?
H.
Is that in steps?
No.
So you're refusing to sing it, is that right?
Yeah.
Are you a better footballer than you are a singer?
100%.
That's a good job. Yeah, thank you very much for joining us, Callum. We really appreciate it.
No problem, thank you.
We've got a big round of applause for Callum joining us here today. Thank you very much, sir.